Hi everyone, my name is Erin and welcome to my wrap up of January 2019. Okay, I was right. I did happen to read 8 books this month, which I was really not expecting because I don't know, I don't really read 8 books in a month. That's not something I do. But we did this month. I'm super duper proud. And honestly, this month of reading was very enlightening and smooth. And I was just motivated to read the whole entire month. And it was just a really nice feeling because usually I always hit a slump when I'm feeling really good. And it didn't happen this month, and that's really great. So yeah, the first 3 books I finished this month are part of a trilogy that I read in 2017, and I fell in love with it. And the last book is probably my favorite book of all time. That's the Infernal Devices trilogy by Cassandra Clare, and oh my god, just like rereading this series was completely agonizing. Because the thing is, once you know like the fate of certain characters, now whatever they do is precious. The author can write like, OMG, they were struggling with their chopsticks, and now it's like the funniest thing. And then like at the end you're like, but he never learned how to use chopsticks, and you feel so much sadness. That's what it was like reading this, okay? And I just love all the characters, and I'm so happy that I re-picked up this series. I did it because whenever I like just get really into an author again, I now have to just read every single thing that they ever wrote. And now all the was Cassandra Clare, and now it's because of Queen of Air and Darkness. I saw some of the characters from this book and that book, and I just wanted to read about them again. I wanted to fall in love with them again. It's always so relieving and just nice to reread some of your favorite novels because you just realize how much you've forgotten, or you just remember like why you fell in love in the first place. And that's what happened with these 3 books. I'm really happy that I picked them up when I did, because I feel like my month of reading would have not gone so like great and smoothly if I had not. But this was just like the perfect starter. It was the perfect thing to just kind of get me in the mood to read. And Cassandra Clare, you've broken my heart once again in less than a year. The next book I finished this month was a book that I was not expecting to love. But I read it and I loved it and I devoured it. That is The Wicked King by Holly Black. I hit something, so yeah. So The Cruel Prince is the prequel, or the first book in this series. And when I read The Cruel Prince, I didn't love it. I still give it a 5 out of 5 stars though. Because you know how sometimes people just keep on telling you that something's so great and like you're gonna love it and stuff, that sometimes your own like view and your own feelings get a little warped while reading it. So I gave it a 5 stars because I felt like I should. So when I picked up this book, I didn't really know how I felt. I didn't really know how I truly felt about The Cruel Prince. So I don't know. I really had no expectations. And honestly, I always say that's the best way to go into a book. No expectations either, because it's really bad, but at least it wasn't overhyped and once again you have like that warped view. Or it's really good and it's just like this great thing that walked into your life and now you can't live without it. And that's what happened with The Wicked King. Holly Black's writing in this book was just so like quick paced, but also not in a way where it felt like anything was missing or just all the pieces didn't fit together. The way that she writes seems so thought out and thorough, and I just really appreciated that in this book. And although the ending wrecked me, I'm so thankful because it was just this great moment where after the book, everyone on social media was talking about it and sharing their theories, and it was almost like we're all in this together. And it was just so much fun like seeing other people's thoughts and opinions and just freaking out with them, you know? If you're like me and you just thought The Cruel Prince was kind of meh, I really suggest just picking up this book. It's like 350 pages, 380 at the most. So it's just gonna be a really quick read. And honestly, I just think that this book was 10 times better. So the next book I read was an ebook that I got through my local library through an app called Sora. I really just recommend downloading Sora, getting yourself a digital library card, and just enjoying all the reading fun. Anyways, that book was Tithe by Holly Black. You know how before I kind of said that once you read something by an author, you just now want to read like their other pieces of work? That was me with Tithe by Holly Black. You also know how I kind of said that I loved Wicked King because it was so quick and fast paced? Well, this book was also really quick and fast paced. I hated it. I didn't hate this book. I gave it a 3 out of 5 stars. I did not hate this book. That Taif was published in about the 2000s-ish, so you really just see how much Holly Black's writing has grown, and now it's so polished and flawless. But in this book, I don't know, it's just, you would read a scene at the end of the chapter, and then like in the next chapter, it would be a bit of a time skip, and it just felt really choppy. or it felt like maybe I skipped something or like skipped a page sometimes. I also found the main character in this book just a little tiny bit annoying. Eventually she didn't grow on me. She didn't like ruin the book for me. Just because of those two factors, this book was only a 3 out of 5 stars for me. I feel so bad. I didn't love it like I loved The Wicked King. However, I'm going to read the sequel and like the sequel after that. I am currently reading the sequel. I'm 30% done with it, and I have like the same vibes I did during Tithe, but it is just a fun read. The next book I have is a final in a trilogy, and I loved it so much. 5 out of 5, and that is A Conjuring of Light by V.E. Schwab. A bit of a background history. I read A Darker Shade of Magic for the first time either 2016 or 2017, and I did not love it. Like I said, just people hyped it up so much, so I think my expectations were just through the roof, so I don't know, I just didn't like it. I did purchase the second book after that, but it was on my on hold list, so I just never really got to it. I didn't really care about it. During December or late November-ish, I don't know times, forgive me, but during that time period, I reread Darkest Shade of Magic. I was just in so much shock that I did not find the worlds in that book to be intriguing, or I didn't like the main characters, because especially now, Kel is like my book boyfriend. Like, he's #1 for me. I love him so much, and I would die for him. So I picked up the second book. It was great. And so now I have the third book, and it's just, I can't believe that I almost didn't get to this point. And it really just shocks me. Like, how dare you? In this series, there are 4 Londons. There's Red London, Black London, White London, and Grey London. Grey London is literally our world, so don't worry about that. White London is a world that has a decaying sense of magic, and you can just see the world dying. Red London is the main London in this book. It is a world thriving with magic. And Black London is a world that consumed magic at a rate where the balance is broken and now it's dead. The main character of this book is an Antari. I don't know what word I was trying to use there. Basically, the main character of this book is an Antari, which is basically someone that can travel through worlds. I'm really trying not to spoil. So just know that we basically just get to see 3 of the Londons. Black London is closed off. We don't go there no more. It's like, we're done. You're over there. We pretty much just get to see the power dynamics and how society runs in all these different Londons. And I'm gonna leave it there. That is a horrible description, but I really just don't want to spoil it, guys. But I promise you, it's just so much more in depth than that. This series is just like so much magic, so much world building, so much character development too. Well, kinda. I'll take that last one back, in my opinion. There could be more, but it's still great. So this was one of those on hold books that I happened to finish this month, and I gave her a 2 out of 5 stars. That book is Crystal Storm by Morgan Rose, and it is the 5th book in the Fallen Kingdom series. In Fallen Kingdoms, we're pretty much following the characters and the politics of this country called this continent called Mytika. However, we are exploring 3 countries actually. Limeros is a country that is hungry for power and magic. Uranus is a country that is beaming with it. And Palsia is a country that is pretty much full of peasants. It's collapsing. It sucks. You are following the points of views and the storylines of multiple characters throughout this book. All that being said, you would think that it would be super intriguing. I would love it. I would not be able to put it down. And that's how it was for most of the series. Then I got to book 5. The book before the last, and it was just so boring. It was so boring. I couldn't do it. I sat down. I started reading this book in March 2018. I did not finish reading this book until January 2019. It's been almost a year, but the plot in this book was so simple and basic that I was just easily able to pick it back up again. I had no problem. It was so easy. Also, I just noticed that the dialogue in these books is really odd. I don't know what's off about it. I can't really describe it to you. At first I thought maybe they just talk too proper, but then again, one of my favorite trilogies is The Infernal Devices. My favorite book is Clockwork Princess. So I just feel like I obviously am not bothered by people properly speaking. I mean, that series takes place in the 1800s. I feel like I'm obviously comfortable with a more formal way of speaking. But in these books, I don't know, just the way that they spoke felt off all the time. Like the back and forth, just like the dialogue, it was really corny or bad at a lot of points. Sometimes I felt like Morgan Rose was just trying to give the characters a lot of bite, and it just really fell flat, or it was just like, ew, what? But it was a journey. It was a really hard last 70 pages. But I'm happy I finished it. Because the next book, I also got through Sora as an ebook, and that was the last book, Immortal Reign by Morgan Rhodes. And I loved it. 4 out of 5 stars. It was just so much better. The dialogue was better. The plot, like thing after thing happened, and it just all made sense. It was what I was expecting when I picked up that book almost a year ago. Of course, there were certain problems I had with the book. That's why it was a 4 out of 5 stars. But overall, it was just like a pick-me-up. It was so great. I'm so happy that I finished it. I finished it in like a day, BT dubs. It was just a great way to end January. We started off with a book series that I knew I was gonna love, and we ended with a book series I was taking a gamble on, and I loved it still. So happy that I finished it too, because it would have it would have hurt my pride if I stopped reading a series from the second to last book. It just would have bothered me forever, you know. I've read all the books except for the last one. I owned all the books except for the last one. It just would have driven me nuts. So I'm just so excited that I went, I did the thing, I enjoyed it, fun time, boom. That was my time reading in January. Obviously, I'm very happy about it. I'm usually not this enthusiastic in my videos. So I'm really happy that I did this video because last year, before I went MIA, I was like, oh, I'll just do books I've read this year at like different quarters. So there's gonna be like 4 books I read this year videos. Like I read 72 books. So at the end of each quarter, I would have this responsibility to show you guys like 20 books. It was gonna be too long and too stressful, so it just never happened. So that's why this year we have done wrap-ups, and it just feels so nice and breezy and light. So yeah, that was pretty great. I do not do TBRs. I do not want that on my shoulders. I just want to read what I want to read when I want to read it. So in case you're wondering, a February TBR will not be coming. But wrap-ups are always going to be here. So if you like this one, I just hope that you subscribe and you actually like it. That would be kind of nice. I also really love socializing with you guys. So tell me what you read this month. Did you love it? How was just your overall month of reading? Were you happy with yourself? Did you read more than you planned to? Or were you just kind of like, I mean, I could have read more. You know, it's just, it differs for everyone. Personally, it was great for me. I feel like I'm being annoying now, so I'm gonna leave. I'm gonna exit, but I love you, and I'll see you later. Huh.